Thank you everyone for coming tonight to the opening. I had thought I had escaped this and wouldn't have to do this. It's warm up here with this and all the things that are being said, but I'm humbled by the fact that you're here. It really means a lot to me. I'm joined here with family who are part of this story. Without them, there is no story, you know. And this has been a long work. It's one that it started many years ago, probably when my son was about 4 or 5 years old, that I started thinking about making things that were relative to family, things that were Afrocentric as well. And out of that, I started carving characters that were family, and you'll see some of them in there. Half of us are in there. There's more to go, so it's an ongoing process. But I also, as we talked as family, we came together, we talked about our history and things that transpired, and even how and why we came north. Sometimes you got some blank looks from the younger folks, like, what? What are you talking about? And well, there's a realization that they didn't know. There's a lot that they didn't know about the family and about our story. And it became something to me that I wanted to try to accomplish, to document this. And I document things like in wood and in painting and stuff like that. And so having done the paintings, I needed to have some words to go with it. You know, but this was, it was kind of my effort to connect what had been our past. You know, in the cabinet there's one of our ancestors that was born a slave, Uncle Fate. Connect that past with our present and our future generations so that they knew what this story was and so that they could pass it on. My story is unique, but it's only unique because it's my story. There are a lot of other unique stories as well, and they cut across race and ethnicity, so on and so forth. Gender, you name it, they are unique, but they all tell a story about who we are. And I really believe that if we talk about who we are and how we got to be who we are, where we are in our lives, I think that we begin to build something that's very important, and they're called bridges. They're called bridges of understanding. And so when we do that, when we have that kind of dialogue where we share the stories, I kind of think of probably one time there was a point when people would gather around campfires and they tell stories. They were telling stories about who they were. And that's how we figured out who was okay and who wasn't okay. You know, but I think that through that storytelling, through the telling and the hearing, this is where we find our common humanity. And I think that it's very important that we take time to sit back and dialogue with each other. While this has been important for my family, I think that these kinds of things are important for us as communities, as a country, as a world, to be able to dialogue and find out how really together and alike we are, and to make that happen. So my message to you, from an art standpoint, what's your story? Make sure your people understand it. Thanks for coming tonight. I have so much.